Marble halls with candle smoke, a crown too heavy for young folk. Whispers bow while mirrors lie. 1,000 eyes say choose your side. Silk and steel behind the throne. Every breath is not your own. They dance in chains of shining gold. A kingdom trained to do what's told. Silk in the air, lipstick, hope in a world repair. Rations gone, but scars remain. Stitching beauty through the pain. A future song with fragile grace. Dress the past in brighter skin. Let the light come rushing in. We survive now. Let us bloom. Flowers rising from the ruin. They said beauty was a crime, luxury, a waste of time, but soul starved worse than bones. We needed dreams, not stones. Every breath tells our desire. Hope still burns within the fire. Just the past in bright A heart turned wrong on a Saturday night. Broken strings and borrowed dreams. Truth feels heavy, lies come clean. I sing to ghosts I used to know. Lonely echoes start to grow. I'm so lonesome I could cry. Stars burn out in every sky. Every road just leads me back to the things I always lacked. Faded pictures, empty heads, dusty roads and shifting sands. Whispers turn to hollow sound. Footsteps lost where I was found. The mirror shows a face so pale. The wind just carries my last tale. I'm so lonesome I could cry. Stars burn out in every sky. Every road just leads me back to the things I always lacked. Fame won't heal, it just pretends. Pain still writes in crooked bends. I'm so lonesome, hear me now. I'll bend but break, don't ask me how. If this song is all I need, let it hurt, let it Three wheels shaking, a child complains. Comfort is born from simple pains. Rubber dreams on moving ground. Every bump makes a brand new sound. Progress rolls on silent faith. Round and round the world takes shape. History moves on small ideas. Quiet hands changing all the gears. Put some air between the fall. Let us glide instead of crawl. Every mile begins this way. Someone snaps. Love feels sharp like a heart attack. Every thought is drenched in black. I paint the words you can't take back. The mind on fire, the soul in gray. These are the things I can't erase. This is the scream you cannot hear. The sound of living drowned in fear. Mouth wide open, no escape. I scream in colors you can't take. I speak their sin. History lives beneath my skin. Every roll of borrowed soul, I hold the mask that pay the toll. The lights are bright, the truth is thin. The script is set, let the show begin. This is how power sounds when fiction wears the crown. Say the words, feel the weight. Acting truth is never fake. The stage is set, the lines are drawn. The curtain falls, but the show goes on. Every scene a silent scream. Nothing's real, but it feels like dream. The lights are bright, the truth is thin. The script is set, let the show begin. This is how power sounds when fiction wears the crown. Say the words, feel the weight. Acting truth is never This is how power breaks when the mask begins to shake. Watch closely, don't blink twice. You'll see yourself behind their eyes. In a February chill, when the calendar turned cold, 1923 saw a blueprint unfold. The brothers stood together in a dusty garage room, starting up a vision that would soon begin to bloom. No fortune in their pockets, just a pencil and a dream, setting out to navigate a silent moving stream. Before the mouse was roaring or the castle hit the sky, they built a wooden ladder for a spark that wanted to fly. The ink began to flow across a blank and steady white, capturing the flicker of the early morning light, moving past the novelty of a fleeting little show, watching as the seeds of a legacy would grow. From a flicker on a curtain to a window in my soul, taking every segment, making just a trick for a laugh, until they drew a map and they paved a different path. Not content with moments that would fade within a blink, they poured a deeper gravity inside the wells of ink. A cinematic journey where the characters could breathe, patterns in the fabric that the visionaries weave. From the humble studio where the brothers took their stand, into the sprawling wonders of a fine magic land. The ink began to flow across a blank and steady white, capturing the flicker of the early morning light, moving past the novelty of a fleeting little show, watching as the seeds of a legacy would grow. From a flicker on a curtain to a little in the soul, taking every grand man and making it a whole, drawing out the heartbeat inside and simple fame, giving every silhouette a story and a name. Beyond the short diversions that vanish in the air, building up a kingdom from a saber and a pear. The Disney brothers started with a single steady line, turning every motion into something quite divine. Arrived in a winter chill. February 5th brought a breath that wouldn't stand still. A daughter of the canyon with a gaze so wide, searching for the shadows where the secret spirits hide, tracing out the map of the snow about to bloom in a small wooden cradle in a quiet California room. She is the vessel for the stories left untold, turning silver screen flickers into pure emotional gold, walking through the fire of a complicated grace, finding every heartbeat in a stranger's changing face. From the independent silence to the thunder of the stage, she writes her own reflection on a lonely white page. She is the vessel for the stories left untold, turning silver screen flickers into pure emotional gold, walking through the fire of a complicated grace, finding every heartbeat in a stranger's changing face. From the independent silence to the thunder of the stage, she writes her own reflection on a lonely white The camera is a witness to the gravity she brings, to the weight of the heavy and the truth of broken saints, rejecting the easy for the jagged and the deep, keeping all the promises that the weary actors keep. Not just a name printed on a fading theater bill, but a force of the spirit with an iron clothed at will. The lights go down and the grainy film begins to spin. The alchemy starts where the skin and the ghosts begin, beyond the bright lights of a common thoroughfare. She builds a monument out of the very air. is the vessel for the stories left untold, turning silver screen flickered into pure emotional gold. Walking through the fire of a complicated grace, finding every heartbeat in a stranger's changing face. Call me independent silence to the thunder of a stage. She writes her own reflection on the lonely white page. She is the vessel for the stories left untold, turning silver screen flickers into pure emotional gold. Walking through the fire of a complicated grace, finding every heartbeat in a stranger's changing face. From the independent silence to the thunder of a stage, she lights her own reflection on the lonely white The calendar turns to a chill in the air, to a name etched in stone and a ghost in the chair. A quiet Sunday morning with the paper spread wide, recalling the man with the silver tide. He stood where the monuments shadow the grass, watching the sands of a century pass. Not with a shout, but a steadying hand, mapping the lines of a changing land. No wall was a fortress of iron and gray, but he saw the cracks in the twilight of day. The telephone rang in the dead of the night, while the maps were redrawn by the morning light. He knew the weight of the medals he wore, the silent burden of avoiding the war. A navigator on a restless sea, steering the ship toward what had to be. Oh, the 41st step on the marble stairs, with the weight of the world and a nation's prayers. When the curtains fell on the frozen divide, he was the anchor against the tide. From the cockpit high to the heavy room, he brushed away the gathering gloom. A legacy written in the winter frost, counting the gain. And the human cost, human cost. Then came a storm on the desert sand, a coalition formed at his command to draw a line where the borders were crossed, to find a peace that the world had lost. He spoke of a vision both grand and clear, where the law of the many would conquer the fear. The world was a puzzle he pieces together, braving the gale and the shifting weather. The decades may fade and the ink may dry, but the truth remains under the vast blue sky. The steady resolve and the gentle grace of the leader who looked at the future's face. On the 41st step on the marble stairs, with the weight of the world and nation prayers, when the curtain fell on the frozen divide, he hit the anchor against the tide. From the hot mid-high to the heavy room, he brushed away the gathering gloom, a legacy written in the near frost, counting the gate. With the weight of the world and nation's prayers, when the curtains fell on the frozen divide, he was the anchor against the tide. A frost on the 5th of February, a child of the Rhine, with a restless ink in his hand, walking through the corridors where the heavy secrets tarry, across the jagged borders of a changing fatherland. He traded in the silence for the clicking of the keys, seeking out the marrow underneath the iron skin, while the giants of the continent were shaking at the knees. He was digging for the logic where the tangled yarns begin. Oh, Kurt Niemann wrote the chronicle in the pale morning light, mapping out the currents that the common eye would miss. He was stripping back curtains from the shadows of the night, leaning over edges of the political abyss, a witness to the evolution of the European soul, setting down the bedrock for a truth that stays whole. Investigative fire burning through the formal lace. He followed every paper trail and every quiet lead, looking for the honesty behind the statesman's face, sowing every sentence like a revolutionary seed. From the rubble of a century to the modern glass and steel, he defined the craft by the depths of what he found, holding up a mirror to the roar and to the real, listening for the tremors underneath the hollow ground. Oh, Kurt Niemann wrote the chronicle in the pale morning light, mapping out the currents that the common eye would miss. He was stripping back the curtains from the shadows of the night, leaning over edges of the political abyss, a witness to the evolution of the European soul, setting down the bedrock for a truth that stays whole. Oh, Kurt Niemann wrote the chronicle in the pale morning light, mapping out the currents that the common eye would miss. He was stripping back the curtains from the shadows of the night, February 5th brought his soul to step into the view. A lad of Britain with a spark behind his gaze, to walk the boards and navigate the far-bound maze. He learned the lines the ancient poets used to trace, before the lens had captured every human face. The velvet curtains parted for a wooden floor, where Lauren stood and opened up a heavy door. The grease paint stained the collar of his stiffened shirt. The silence of the footlights buried every hurt. But shadows started dancing on a silver screen, a different kind of kingdom that had not been seen. He built a bridge across the canyon of the years, from hollow halls to where the flickering light appears. Oh, oh. He took the crown and placed it in a frame of glass, and watched the ghosts of classic drama start to pass. The moving picture found a voice it never knew, and Lawrence brought the grand old spirit through. He built a bridge across the canyon of the years, from hollow halls to where the flickering light appeared. Oh, oh. He took the crown and placed it in a frame of glass, and watched the ghosts of classic drama start to pass. The moving picture found a voice it never knew, and Lawrence brought the grand old spirit through. The critics scoffed and said the art was merely play, a shadow trick to pass the weary hours of day. But he stood firm within the flicker and the glare, and poured his breathing lungs into the quiet air. He proved the lens could hold a weight of heavy truth, and gave the aging stage a slanting burst of youth. He built a bridge across the canyon of the years, some hollow halls to where the flickering light appeared. Oh, oh. He took the crown and placed it in a frame of glass, and watched the ghosts of classic drama start to pass. The moving picture found a voice it never knew, and Lawrence brought the grand old spirit He built a bridge across the canyon of the years, from hollow halls to where the flickering light appears. Oh, oh. He took the crown and placed it in a frame of glass, and watched the ghosts of classic drama start to pass. The moving picture found a voice it never knew, and Lawrence brought the grand old spirit too. Back in the winter of a century ago, when the London fog was thick and slow, a seed was planted on the Fulham road, where the ghost of Mears carried the load. 1905 was the year of the birth, on a patch of west side hollowed earth. The blue ink dried on a brand new page, setting the lights for a global stage. Oh, the pride of the lion is a heavy crown when you're the talk of this old town. You've been a brother and a friend of mine, born in the smoke of a cold February, growing into a legend for all to see. The culture shifted and the colors changed. The old world orders were rearranged. It wasn't just a game played on the grass, but a mirror for every lad and lass. Stretching out across the ocean blue, a vision that the founding fathers knew, defining the era and the way we feel, with a heart of gold and nerves of steel. Success is a mountain that's hard to climb, but you conquer the peaks time after time. The gates open wide for a hungry crowd, and the chanting grew fierce and proud. They say the spirit is hard to define, but I see it etched in every single line of the history books and the local street, where the past and the future finally meet. In the heart of the winter deep, where the Midwest shadows creep, the calendar turned its heavy leaf. 1933 brought a brief spark of light in a cold gray room, while the nation swayed in a silent gloom. The boy was named Richard on that day, when the winds of change began to play. He grew up watching the city streets, where the pulse of 1,000 walkers beats. He saw the way the patterns form, like birds before a brewing storm. Why does a man join the rushing tide It is not the individual cry, but the way the masses justify the sudden turn or the quiet grace that moves across a stranger's face. He looked beneath the surface layer at the hand of the silent prayer for every soul that joins the chase, changes the nature of the human phrase. He spoke of how the fever spreads, connecting all the silver threads of a crowd that breathes as one single soul, beyond the reach of fine control. American soil grew a quiet sage who read the movements on the stage. From the quiet dorms to the riot haze, he spent the length of all his days. The dynamic shifting like the shifting sand, guided by an invisible hand. No one is ever truly on their own when the communal harvest has been grown. Oh, the collective heart is a wild machine, moving through spaces felt but never seen. Healing that no border aligned, seeking the ties that truly bind. He traced the lines of the soul. Down a frozen gravel road, when the wind began to blow, the February morning light was moving fast and low. 1971 saw a new life coming through, just a tiny little heartbeat making promises so true. In the heart of Missouri, where the fields were turning brown, a diamond in the rough was waiting to be found. She grew up with the radio humming in the hall, learning how to stand up straight and how to never fall. The spirit of the valley lived inside her restless lungs, singing out the stories that the old folks always sung. With a spirit like a wildfire and a vision in her eyes, she was chasing every shadow underneath the open skies. Oh, the power and the calling is a heavy kind of grace. You can see the whole wide world written on a singer's face. From the quiet of the cradle to the bright lights of the stage, she's turning every sorrow into a brand new golden page. With an emotional horizon stretching further than a sea, she's the melody of living truth of being free. She walked into the city with her suitcase full of dreams, finding out that living is as simple as it seems. But her throat was made of iron and her soul was made of gold, giving voice to all the secrets that have never yet been told. Through the static and the thunder, she rose above the crowd, a contemporary champion, singing lonely and singing loud. Years go by like river water, rushing over stones, but the strength within the music stays inside our very bones. It's more than just a costume or a name upon the side. It's the lineage of feeling moving down the family line. All the power and the calling is a heavy kind of grace. You can't see the whole wide world written on a singer's face. From the quiet of the cradle to the bright lights of the stage, she's turning every sorrow into a brand new golden page, with an emotional horizon stretching further than the sea. She's the melody of living and the truth of being free.